Area 51, alien interviews. I mean, come on, who doesn't love a good alien story, right? And today, we're not just skimming the surface, we're diving deep into two intriguing pieces of the Area 51 puzzle. We've got excerpts from the description of, get this, Area 51, the alien interview from 1997, straight from archive.org.
Oh, I remember that one.
And we've also got this fascinating and kind of hard to pin down pasted text about a supposed alien interview from 91. Now, before we go full-on conspiracy theorists here, let's be real for a sec. We're not here to prove or disprove aliens exist, right?
Right.
We're dissecting these two pieces of media, how they came about, the nitty-gritty details, and why they're so darn captivating. So buckle up, folks, because things are about to get weird. Let's start with that archive.org material, shall we?
Yeah.
It says, this supposed alien footage landed at Rocket Pictures on July 26, 1996. Picture it. You're at Rocket Pictures, just another Tuesday. You're on your second cup of coffee, and the phone rings. And on the other end is this mysterious Victor, claiming he's got leaked footage of an alien interview from, you guessed it, a top-secret government facility.
Talk about a way to start your morning.
Right. Now, you got to remember, the 90s were a different time.
Oh, yeah. The X-Files was huge. The Berlin Wall had just fallen. People were questioning everything the government did or didn't tell us.
It was like the perfect storm for this kind of story to blow up.
Totally. People were primed and ready to believe.
It's like the smallest spark could ignite a whole wildfire of speculation. All right, let's jump over to this pasted text about the 91 footage. They described the alien as a classic gray. You know, big eyes, small body, the whole shebang.
The poster child for alien encounters, right?
But here's the kicker. The alien is described as being in distress. Like, it needs medical attention.
Ooh, that's interesting.
It's not your average take me to your leader scenario, is it? It flips the script on how we usually imagine aliens.
It does make you wonder, doesn't it?
Totally.
Like, are these beings all powerful, or are they just as vulnerable as us? Are they susceptible to the same weaknesses?
And what does that say about the supposed power dynamic between, us and them?
Exactly. It adds these layers to the story, even if it's just a fictional narrative.
Right. It's like, are we looking at beings from another dimension, or are they just, are they more like us than we thought? Okay, but before we spiral down the rabbit hole here, we got to be upfront about something. That description on archives.org, it never actually says the footage is real. It just lays out what the uploader claimed.
Oh, it's right. It's like, here's what we got. You decide.
It's like finding a message in a bottle. Intriguing, but
you don't know if it's a prank or a cry for help.
Exactly. And that brings us to this whole issue of misinformation, which, let's face it, runs rampant when you're talking Area 51. I mean, it doesn't take much for some grainy footage and a whisper campaign to send people into a frenzy,
Oh, absolutely. Especially when you're dealing with something as inherently mysterious as Area 51. It's like a breeding ground for speculation.
It's like we're wired to make connections, even when they might not be there.
I think there's something to that. We're always searching for answers, for explanations.
Speaking of searching, this pasted text mentions a ufologist named Sean David Morton. Apparently, he was instrumental in getting the 91 footage out there.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of him.
Now, whether you buy into his interpretations or not, figures like him become these, information hubs. They keep these stories alive.
It's true. They shape how we perceive information, even if they don't intend to.
It's like that game we played as kids, Telephone. You whisper something from person to person, and by the end, it's totally different.
Except in this case, instead of a silly phrase, it's the possibility of life on other planets.
Exactly. And with these stories, the details matter. This pasted text, when it describes the alien, they don't hold back.
Oh, yeah. Like what?
Okay, get this. It says the alien's eyes were black and vacant like those of a dying animal.
Wow. That's pretty intense.
Chilling, right. Whoever wrote that, real or not, they knew how to get under your skin.
It's like they reached into your chest and grabbed your heart, It's visceral.
And that gets to the heart of it. Belief versus evidence.
Right, like do you need to see it to believe it? Or is the power of the story enough?
Because, let's be real, we have zero hard proof to back any of this up.
We've got a description on a website and a mysterious pasted text.
And yet, these stories stick with us. Why is that?
It's that human need to believe in something bigger than ourselves. That maybe we're not alone.
So how do we balance that? That wanting to believe those captivating stories, but also thinking critically?
That's the question, isn't it? It's about questioning what you see, but also being open to the possibility that there might be something more out there.
It's like walking a tightrope.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. You don't want to fall into blind belief, but you also don't want to be so closed off that you miss something amazing.
And maybe, sometimes, it's okay to just appreciate a good story for what it is, a
Yeah,
glimpse into our collective imagination, even if it's not reality.
I like that.
But even if these specific stories aren't true, they make you think.
Absolutely.
What would it mean if we weren't alone? How would we handle something so different from us?
Big questions, man.
Big questions. And honestly, even without answers, those are worth thinking about. It makes you wonder, if you were going to slip real alien footage to the public, would this be how you'd do it?
I see what you mean.
The mysterious phone call, the classic gray, the whole medical drama, it's almost like something out of a movie, isn't it?
It does make you wonder if maybe a more, I don't know, subtle approach would be more believable.
Right. Like, would people take it more seriously if it wasn't so sensational?
Or maybe that's the point. Maybe the sensationalism is like a hook. It draws people in, even if it risks being dismissed as a hoax.
Maybe it's about planting those seeds of doubt, making people question what they think they know.
Because a grainy video with a title like Alien Autopsy, that's easy to dismiss.
Exactly. But what if it was like leaked government documents with weird symbols nobody could figure out?
Yeah, that would be hard to ignore.
It's like that saying, a lie can travel halfway around the world while the truth is putting on its shoes.
And in these cases, we may never know for sure what's truth and what's made up.
It's true. And that's part of what keeps us coming back for more, right?
Absolutely, that mystery, that hint of the unknown, it's captivating.
It's like a puzzle you can never fully solve.
Exactly. And these stories, they're not just about aliens, are they? They're about us.
What do you mean?
They reflect our hopes, our fears, our big questions about the universe, like, are we alone? What else is out there?
It's like looking into a mirror, but instead of seeing our reflection, we see all the possibilities, all the unknowns.
And that can be a little unsettling, but also exciting, don't you think?
Totally. It's like, on one hand, we have to be careful not to fall for misinformation, especially with something as secretive as Area 51. But on the other hand,
We don't want to be so closed-minded that we miss out on something incredible.
exactly. It's about finding that balance.
Being skeptical, but also open to new possibilities. Questioning everything, but not dismissing everything out of hand.
And sometimes, maybe it's about appreciating a good story for what it is, even if we don't have all the answers.
Sometimes the story itself is enough.
It's like we want to believe, but we also want to be smart about it, right?
Well, exactly. It's a tricky balance.
It really is. Makes you think, though, if someone really wanted to reveal alien footage to the world, would they do it like this?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
I mean, think about it. The mysterious phone call, the stereotypical gray alien, the whole medical emergency, it's almost too much.
It does feel a bit like a Hollywood movie, doesn't it?
Right. Maybe a more low-key approach would be more believable. Like, what if instead of a dramatic leak, it was, I don't know, a scientist quietly coming forward with evidence?
Or imagine if it was buried in some declassified government files, hidden among thousands of pages of boring reports.
Oh, that's good. Like a needle in a haystack.
Exactly. People would be more likely to take it seriously, don't you think?
Totally. It'd be harder to dismiss as just another crazy story.
Because at the end of the day, we crave proof. Right. Evidence. Something tangible.
Absolutely. But maybe that's the point of these sensationalized stories. Maybe they're not meant to convince us outright.
Ooh, interesting. You're saying it's more about what? Planting a seed of doubt.
Exactly. Making people question what they think they know. Because a grainy video titled Alien Autopsy, that's easy to brush off.
But a subtle hint, a suggestion that something more is out there, that's harder to shake off.
It's like they're not giving us the answers, but they're making us ask the questions.
And maybe that's enough. Maybe that's what keeps us coming back to these stories year after year.
It's the mystery, right? The possibility.
Exactly. Because as much as we want concrete evidence, there's something alluring about the unknown.
It sparks our curiosity, makes us wonder what else is out there.
And whether we ever get definitive answers or not, that sense of wonder, that's something special.
Well said. Well, folks, we've reached the end of our deep dive. We've explored the murky waters of Area 51, dissected mysterious footage descriptions, and pondered the nature of belief itself.
We've encountered more questions than answers, but that's part of the fun, isn't it?
It definitely keeps things interesting. A huge thanks to everyone for joining us on this journey into the unknown. We'll see you next time, same place, same thirst for the extraordinary.
Until then, keep those minds open and those imaginations running wild.